Both the Chicago Bears and San Francisco 49ers suffered tough losses in Week 13. They'll be facing each other here in Week 14. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this matchup between the Bears and Niners here in Week 14. But before I get into that, we do have a goal of getting 6,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win this game and why. And Ryan, quickly get into it. Niners, it's just one of those years for these Super Bowl contending teams, and injury bug is a real thing, even now with Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason going on IR as well. And that to me is constantly the biggest takeaway of that Sunday night football game for the Niners versus the Bills, is because if you want to talk about an ultimate home field advantage, like you're taking a West Coast team that loves to sling it around, have motion, and have these star-powered players, get defense really spread out. The worst thing for them is to put them on an ice rink in like basically 0 degrees. I forget what the temperature was, but
I think it was like 8 or 10
maybe
degrees.
in a snow globe type environment against a team where that favors them like heavily, like where it becomes a game in the trenches. And the Niners do need to work on the trenches as well. That's something that we'll be talking about a lot in the offseason, even when we do mock drafts. But it's the biggest story, obviously, that is going to be Christian McCaffrey probably being done, if not done for the season, as he's now on IR with his PCL injury. And so do you think McCaffrey well, actually, I take that back. I think he's out for 6 weeks, so he's done for the regular season anyways. But kind of looking at this now and then kind of looking at this game against the Bears, who fire their head coach, deservingly so. Matt Eberflues after that amazing clock management performance. Mike McCarthy was actually saying it was one of the best clock management performances he's ever seen. I don't know if you saw that afterwards, but they're going to be kind of coming in this game also too with a lot of question marks as well. What do you think both teams need to do coming into this matchup here to come out victorious?
Well, for me, the Bears, they're 0-5 on the road, and I think a lot of that just comes down to communication errors, not quite getting everybody on the same page on both sides of the ball, and just, executing. They have performed well in spurts throughout this year, but it's never been a full 60 minutes. I think if they can come in, run the football, get everybody on the same page, and they can take the crowd out of it early, I think that gives them a really good chance to come in here and beat up on a very poor 49ers team that is just so banged up with injuries. If they are going to win this game, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brock Purdy, they have to have phenomenal games. That is going to be tough, in my opinion. This is a pretty good Bears secondary. They're not a world beater on defense, but they're a pretty good defense. I know Matt Eberflues was kind of the conductor of all those pieces, so we'll see if his loss it makes an impact there. But again, this is a good defense. We'll see kind of if that has any effect on it. But I think Kittle, Debo, Ricky Pearsall, those guys need to have big games. Jawan Jennings for them to come out ahead here as well.
Well, and so I agree with you. I think there's things to like about this Bears defense, but if we go back and look at their past couple performances, they gave up 400 plus yards to Detroit, 452 to Minnesota. So these past couple weeks, they have been giving up some yards, and this is where the Niners injuries are really going to obviously hurt them, no pun intended. But it's because they have the star power there, I think, to put up a bunch of yards, just like how these past couple teams have. Because when healthy, this offense is elite. But I think they're going to be going in with Isaac Orendo as a starting running back there. Deebo Samuel and George Kittle are back, with Jawan Jennings is going to be playing as well. So they have the star power there, but it's just not without Ayuk, without McCaffrey, with the weaker offensive line that's also been just struggling in general this year. I wonder if they can go and make this Bears defense vulnerable, like how we saw over these past couple of weeks. Because really, honestly, even to the week before that against Green Bay, they had 366 yards against them. It was really your New England team was the last one where they put up a solid defense performance of just 328 yards, but they did give up 144 rushing yards.
New England, they're obviously red zone issues. So they should have had a lot more than 19 points, but they couldn't score in the red zone.
Yeah. So that's why I think it's going to be very interesting. Just the overall matchup between this Niners offense, which has a lot of injuries, versus Bears defense. But then as well, too, this Niners defense is also struggling with injuries as well. Fred Warner's been playing with a fractured ankle, which is mind-boggling to me. That like the toughest guy. But there's been one thing about this Bears team. This offense, especially too with Caleb Williams, has been improving. They started off slow in the first half, but he has been able to string together several good fourth quarter drives over these past couple of weeks here, even going back to the Green Bay game. So he's been taking those improvements. He's been connecting with DJ Moore, has good connection with Keenan Allen as well. Roma Dunze is still a great prospect that they're leaning on. Still struggling to run the ball, and that's going to be something that they're going to want to address in the offseason is that offensive line to try and get a better balance. Offense overall. Wouldn't be surprised also too. There's a great running back class. There's a couple of running backs that you really like that you talked about in your mock draft that's coming out later today. But can this Niners defense bounce back in a much more controlled environment than what it was? And that's why I said it's almost even hard to kind of put anything against them in the Sunday Night Football matchup. The biggest question to me is when the Bears offensive side of the ball and the Niners defensive side of the ball. And both of these sides of the ball keep on progressing as the Bears have been progressing over the past couple of weeks. And can the Niners kind of bounce back, get healthier? Obviously, Nick Bosa hasn't been playing, and kind of get back to that normal Niners defensive form that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, and it's just going to be so tough with all these injuries. And let's just kind of get into predictions here. And I find it hard to take the 49ers in this matchup just with how banged up this team is. I do think like they're going to have to simplify their schemes. And I'm going to go with Chicago. I'm going to go with the road team. They haven't won on the road this year, but I do think this could be the quintessential fire the head coach. You get a interim guy in there, comes in, wins his first game. He may not have long-term success, but he wins his first game. And then take out a really injured 49ers team, especially coming off a late night loss, travel across the country in a tough environment in Buffalo that did not help their injury cause at all. And so I think it's going to be a rough week for the 49ers, just traveling back from Buffalo, getting back into the swing of things, trying to get healthy. I think the Bears come in and get a win here.
So I'll actually go with the home team here. I think you make solid points. For me, though, I think the Niners are the ones, though, they're the more veteran team. Both teams are desperate for wins to keep their playoff hopes alive as well. Bears have not traveled well outside, I guess, to London when they beat the Jags. But that was technically a home game for them. But in general, though, I think it's going to be something similar to what we've seen for both of these teams. I think the Bears are going to start off a little bit slow. I think the Niners are going to get off to a hot start. But then the Niners are going to start to falter a little bit in the fourth quarter as they've given up some fourth quarter leads. But I think they're going to hang on. I think the Bears are going to find a way to lose this game again as well with their whether it be clock management or a missed field goal or block field goal or a turnover. Yeah. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But this one was one I remember kind of as we're previewing the games and like what order we're going to film them in. This was one to be like, this is such a coin flip match. Yeah, with both how these teams have been playing lately. If
this was a week one matchup and like everyone was healthy, I would be taking the 49ers all day.
Oh,
but they're so banged up. It's just not even like I really genuinely kind of feel bad just how bad the injury bug has hit them. So like we'll see. It is a total coin flip, but Bears are 0-5 on the road, so I think that could favor the 49ers. I just think the Bears might be the healthier, more energetic team, especially now that Eberflues is out of the building. So, let's go ahead. Let's wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Chicago Bears? Will it be the San Francisco 49ers? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.